let's just begin. So in this video, I'll show you how you can create a transparent video in the Blender VSE. Okay, so looks like I figured out. I just have to wait a few seconds and pause it, and then I can type and reply to people. Okay, so that's it. So if you happen to be on BitChute, simply go and or if you're on ojambo.com right now, simply scroll all the way to the bottom of any page, and you can, under channels, you see here it has Odyssey, Rumble, BitChute, and YouTube. So this is the BitChute channel, and you'll be able to live right now. So the title of this on BitChute is Generate Transparent Video in Blender VSE. So it's the same as the title up here, except there's a prefix called generate space. Okay, so this article is on ojambo.com/transparent-video-in-blender-VSE. The links will also be in the description of the videos on all platforms. So Blender is a 3D computer graphics software tool. That means that you can use it to model 3D objects, and you can make short animations as well, and also all 2D graphics, and you can export them in different file formats. For example, it could be PNG files, JPEGs, some video files like H.264, MP4, WebM, etc. However, you might need a transparent video, especially when you're doing web design, or you want something on the web. You might want a transparent video. I'm going to show you a transparent video here in the second when we scroll down. So more about Blender. It's written in C++ and Python. The Python part allows it to be extended, so you can create extensions, or I think in the past they called them add-ons. So some of the things we're going to talk about here will be rendering. So what a render means, that's when you actually generate an image or a series of images or video as the final output. So I don't, if you don't understand what an output is obviously what you want at the end of the processing. So the file formats, there are different file formats that they usually is a standard. For example, PNG or a JPEG or a video format, file format. Those are standard so that they can be for example, the code or the content is encoded in a way that will be easy to open in different software applications. Or for example, in a web browser, if you want to view, for example, an image or a video, it is to be encoded in a standard, so that in a standard way, so that then it will be readable, for example, in a web browser. So what's a container? So a container, in this case, I'll talk about in the video, a video case, is that a video is to make it simple, a video contains at least two streams. One is an audio stream, and one is a picture stream, or the video stream. So when you combine those together, you have to put in a container. For example, when we talk about a PNG file or a JPEG file, those are usually just one type. It's not just because it's one image, it's also because it's one type. So there's only one thing, and so the container, I guess, could also be the PNG file, but there's nothing else you can put in there. But a container means you can put multiple things. So in our particular case, we are only going to talk about, just to make things simple, there's the audio stream and the video stream. So that's what a container is. You allowing multiple data streams. So the codecs are very important. So this is it's usually done by a computer hardware or software component that encodes or decodes a data stream or signal. So we are going to talk about as a final product. For example, there's different types of streams or signals. For example, if you're doing an over-the-air, we're not for this particular video, or this tutorial, we're just going to talk about something where you store yourself. For example, an MP4, WebM, and those type of things. So so there's three ways you can save a video, a transparent video in Blender. The first way is to output it as a bunch of images. So for example, you can use PNG. As of time of this recording in Blender 4.3, you can also use, you can output WebP. Just make sure that you also set the color to RGBA. If you set it RGB, then it will lose the transparency. You just see a black line or a black border or whatever the default is. Usually it's black. But if you change your settings, it might be a different color. It might be the road color. So what you have to make sure the A here stands for alpha. That will be the transparency. So the other container you can use is a WebM. So in the once again in Blender 4.3, if you have to choose, you have to set the file format to FFmpeg video, and then you set the container to WebM, and then it's not automatic in Blender as 4.3. So what you need to do is set the codec to VP9, and then you set the color set to RGBA. Now, if you have an older version of Blender, you might have VP8. VP8 also has an option where you can set the color to RGBA. Once again, the A here stands for alpha. That will allow you to export or to render out a transparent video. And then the other one you can also use is the Matroska file format. So once again, you set the file format to FFmpeg. The container, you set it to MKV, which is the Matroska. And then you set the codec, you set it to VP9, and the color set to RGBA. So you might be wondering, hey, I mean, this is exactly the same WebM and MKV. The answer is not quite, but very, very close. So WebM, you can save it as you can set the codec to VP8 and VP9. There's also AV1. The problem with AV1 is at the time of this recording in 2025, March 2025, is it doesn't have alpha. It doesn't have, so you won't be able to get the RGBA. So that you have to use VP8 or VP9. Now, when you use, so WebM is basically it's based on Matroska, so that's why I said they're very essentially compatible. So, however, Matroska also allows different codecs, so you can have more codecs. The audio doesn't matter for both of these. I think you can use virtually almost any codec except for WebM. I think you can only use the open source codecs, including the audio one. So you be careful when you use that one. But Matroska will allow you to use any audio and any video codecs. So again, you have to use VP9, or if you are using another version of Blender which also has VP8, you can use VP8. Those are the only two video. Those are the only two open source video codecs which allow alpha, the RGBA. Now, if you actually search, if you do a web search, you'll see most people will tell you to use PNG files, and I will use something like QuickTime. So the QuickTime, the quality wasn't good even in the past. So if you want to use a more modern, especially web-friendly format, you definitely use WebM. So why did I put Matroska here? That's because I want to show you sometimes your video editor, the one you have installed on your device, might not actually see the alpha transparency when you use WebM. So that's why I'm showing you the Matroska version, because maybe, for example, if you're just creating maybe the ending screen or the starting screen, you don't maybe want to show that as an entire video. So having a transparent Matroska file, which you can make sure you can see properly, more readable, is an option for you. Okay, so Another bonus I also did is if you do expand the source here, you see I also give you the settings. If you, for example, if you're doing an automation or you do everything on the command line, so these are the ones you can render out. For example, to set PNG, the same things I've just talked about here. You see, you set the file format to PNG, make sure the color mode is set to RGBA, and then make sure the film transparency set to true. This is only needed for older versions of Blender. So I don't know what version you have. I do have one, actually the latest version. So I don't need to do this, but if you do, there you go. Now for WebM and for Matroska here, you can see the file format has to be set to FFmpeg. Then you see here FFmpeg format, it will be WebM, and then the codec will be WebM, and then the color settings, the color mode RGBA is here as well, and then you set the film transparent to true. So that one is really needed, I said, for the older versions of Blender, but it won't harm you if you actually set it. So you can see the codec, the difference here you see in the, for Matroska, the format is MKV, and then because that will be the output, it would actually put .mkv, and then the codec is WebM. So you might wonder, why is the codec WebM? The codec here is WebM because that's the way Blender internally saves it for the command line. So basically this is actually VP9, but that's the way I said Blender saves it internally. So that's if you want to do things from the command line, that's what you do it here. And here are some screenshots. As you can see here, we have Blender, and I'm just using a transparent file here just to show you that you see it is transparent, and then I just rotated it here, so just to show you when we output it that it will be transparent. And then you can output this. One thing before I forget is that when you do export or render out a WebM file, that one you can view it in your web browser and it will be fine. If you try to import it into Blender, you will notice that your transparency is gone. It will just be a black background. So that's why I gave you the Matroska option, because it might be a bug. But I'm saying is that there's ways you can go on the command line using something like FFmpeg and then do it in a format that Blender will be happy with. But I'm just saying if you just use the Matroska, it won't be a problem. And I'll show you that when we actually hop into Blender for that. Now, you see down here, this one here, this is actually a transparent, video. So you see it, this is for ojamboservices.com. That's some of you might have already seen this in a previous video which I created. So what I did was I actually removed the background. I moved the background here, and then what I did was so this part is obviously opaque, but this part here, you see I did remove the background. So as you can see here with my Jumbo.com website, you see it has a dark background. So you see when it's transparent, some of the text which is black is not readable. I just wanted to do this just to show you. For example, if I play this video, yeah, you see it I just stopped it for a second, but you see because it's transparent. Now you might not believe me saying, hey, there's no way. So I'll show you, I'll prove it to you. So if I inspect here, and I'm going to just change the background. I'll change the body background to say background. Let me make it say blue. I'll make it blue. You see the background is blue. Now you can see the video. I can still play the video. You see, because it's literally you see it's transparent. So it will go to whatever the you see it will play here, and the video plays, and this part is transparent. So for example, if I choose this color, I think it's some gray color. So if I go and change that color, So if I change this, I think it was gray. Gray. It's a grayish color. Now you can now see the text a little bit better. If I actually want, I believe it's an E2. Let me actually change it to E2, so you can see as well. It's E2. I believe that's the actual gray color. There we go. Now you can actually see that the background, now you can actually see the black text, because that was the original background. Now you can actually see the black text. Yeah, now you can see the background. You can see the text, which was black. So then we can finally. I rotated this again so you can see the reason I did it 3 ways, so that because if I just made this image here, you might think there's some type of shenanigans going on, but it's not. It's actually a transparent one. So I'm going to open up Blender and I'll show you the settings. Okay, so let's open up Blender. So Blender is, there we go. Here's Blender. I'm getting a glare here. So this is Blender. Hopefully you can see this. It's very glare. And so what we do here, when you open up Blender, you don't need the default cube. You can delete that if you want. So what you do is, if you don't see video, you can simply click here and go to video editing. And brings this up. So let's talk about the settings first. So you see here, it's 1920 by 1080. That's the default, I guess, based on what I did before. So I'm going to change this up to, because I don't want to spend too much time. I will change it to, because it's a little bit too big. So let's change that to about 30%. So I'll change it to 30% because I don't need such a big video. And then you see down here, frames per second. I will change this to 30, just so the math will be easier to do. And then what I'll do is, I'll change this later. We can change it here, the frame range. That's not so important right now. The output, it's going to output to the temporary folder. That's fine. The temporary folder is okay. And you see here the default is PNG and it says RGBA. So let me see how much time we've spent. It's been about 20 minutes. So this is the first way to render. Unfortunately with this, you need to go, so you can decide if you want to do 8-bit color depth or 16 color depth. And then the compression is 15%. You can leave that as is, and you can see to create a sequence of images. So for example, if I have it here as 30 frames per second, that means each second is going to have 30 images there. So for example, if when I change down here the timeline, I'll probably change this to something like, I'll change it to 90 for now. So because 90 divided by 30 is obviously 3, so that would be 3 seconds. So each of that, so it's going to generate 90 images. So okay, so I'm going to drag in an image here, transparent image. I'll use the same image as you saw in the screenshot on ojambo.com. If you do like this type of content, be sure to subscribe for more frequent content. And just a reminder that every Friday, I'll be hosting a live stream. Visit ojambo.com for details. It's a sticky. So this coming Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern time, I'll show you how to install Drupal CMS from scratch. So we'll do it on the command line and also graphically. Okay, so let me go and grab this image. I believe it's in the downloads folder. Yeah, here it is. So just drag and drop from your file browser. and here we go. Actually, let me delete this and I'll show you the folder. I'll just copy this image into the temp folder, so that way I can simply drag and drop it. So here we go, /temp. I think I can paste it here. Yes. Okay. So this is my temporary folder. So all you do is you just drag it and whatever timeline you want to put it on. So that's fine. So we'll come back to this later. Okay. So as you can tell, it's just yeah, it's just an image. Now, as I said, if this was playing, just because that's kind of boring, so what I would do is I made this 30 seconds. So that means that the timeline will go for this needs to go for 30 seconds. So I'll just extend this to, it goes to 20, it goes to 25. That's because of the, what did I set up here? That 30 frames per second, I guess, by default. So I'll change this to 30. There we go, to make it 30 seconds. Or maybe I should have, yeah, that's fine. So when I here, I'm gonna copy it, that's Shift D. And this one, I'm just gonna rotate it a little bit. So we'll go to transform, I'll just rotate it, yeah, there we go. No, maybe I should go, yeah, I should go to here. Let me zoom in here as well. Yeah, so I'll just rotate there, that's good. And then I'll Shift D again to duplicate it and put it right here at the end. And this time I'll rotate it the other way. There we go. So this is what the video will look like. Obviously you can add audio. So if I go here, it should be, right now it's PNG. So if I render this, it will be just a bunch of image. It will be an image sequence. So I'll see if I can render this. Hopefully it goes quickly. Let's go render. I think it's render. Yeah, if render image, it only render one image, wherever your time cursor is. But if I render, is there a speed? Let me see if there's a speed thing here. Okay. So if we go to render, animation, okay, it's done. Now I'll take you back to the temp folder and you see what it did. So you see here, it created all this images. As I said, so what you would do then is you would grab those images and then put them in into your editor, your video editor. So in this case, it'll be Blend. I'll just drag this in. So I'm not going to do that because it's just going to do the same thing I did here. Now, the other way, as I said before, is to use WebM. So what do? You see the file format here. You change it to FFM video, and then leave the output as is. See, it says RGB. So we go to encoding. Under encoding, we're going to change this to WebM. Under video, the codec, we're going to change it to see, it says WebM/VP9. So that's the one we want. And medium quality is fine, is there. So I'll leave it at medium quality. Hopefully it goes quickly. And because it's only 90 seconds here. And encoding is good. That's fine. So hopefully it goes quickly. Okay, so once again, I go to render animation. And it's done. So I'll show you what it looks like here. And this is the video here. It's WebM. Now watch what I played. You see it already has a black, border behind it there. So if I play this, you can see there has a black border. But don't worry about that. So let me also create one here, which will be, oh, that's because I chose RGB. So let's render that again. Okay, so here it is. You see it still has a black border, even though it's RGBA. So if we play it, you see it still has a black border, but this is actually false. This is the video editor. I'm using MPV to play it. So we'll play this in the web browser. You'll see it will be actually let me actually do that for you. I'll open up a web browser here. Let's go back to the web browser and I'll show you what it looks like. So I'll open up a new window here, and then I'll just drag it and I'll show it to you. Hey, what's going on? So you can see now. You probably can't see it because I use a dark theme, but I'm gonna change the background here. Man, it's so hard to see because of the. So I'll change the background. I'll say background. I'll use some color like say blue. There we go. So I changed that to blue, and you can see it is transparent. This is a WebM video, so I can play it again, and you can see. So it's a WebM and it's transparent. So that's one way you can. That's one way you can have the. You can have a transparent video for the web if you want that. But most likely you'll probably be using this as, for example, if I wanted you to subscribe, I could just grab this and put it into the video. Now, if we go back to Blender, now if I was to take that video, which I will, I'm gonna put it on a different channel. You see, maybe I'll try to put it on channel 5. Okay, so it's up here. Now, remember, it's supposed to be transparent. Now watch what happens. You see, it has a black background. The video has a black background. And that I said the reason for that is most likely a bug in Blender, maybe during the export or the import. It doesn't understand that the video is transparent. So it does give it a black. I know it's not black, it's transparent. You just saw it. It's the same video. I played it in the web browser. So we can get rid of that. Now we're going to export this now as it's still going to be FFmpeg. We're going to change this from WebM to Matroska, and then here the video codec we're going to leave WebM. There's other codecs, but none of this except maybe for the, I think the QuickTime animation is one, but that's the code is not good. So you want a more modern one, which is WebM VP9. Now you see here there's AV1. This one does not have transparency as of the recording of this video. So again, the medium quality is fine. This is good, is fine. So what I'll do is I'll render this one. You see everything is once again the file format is FFmpeg video. It says RGBA. Make sure it's RGBA. If it's RGBE or black and white, you don't want that. We want RGBA. And container and the encoding is Matroska, and the codec is VP9, or as Blender calls it, WebM. And I say if you have an older version of Blender, you can use VP8. That will also work. It does have transparency. Just make sure that the color is set to RGBA. A is for alpha. Okay, so we'll go render. We'll render animation. Okay, it's done. And now watch this now. See this it's MKV. You see it also has a black background as the thumbnail. However, when I play it, watch what happens. Okay, it still has a black background there. I don't know why, but if we actually play it, I open up in a web browser. Okay, so this is the one. Let me open up another one, and we come here. See, it's MKV. Put it here. Why is that not playing? Oops. Does it don't know? Okay, I guess it doesn't. I think it works in Firefox, so it doesn't play here. But if I do open it up in Blender, If I do open up in Blender, guess what happens? Oh, it's also black. That's weird. It's usually, it was transparent when I did it before. Or maybe I can't see. There's a glare. No, that's clearly transparent. Okay. I don't know why it's doing that. I did say, yeah, it's RGBA. I don't know why it did that. And that's, it is transparent. I did this like literally 2 days ago. I guess there must have been an update, and maybe something went wrong again with it. Yeah, it clearly says RGBA and it was BP9. I don't know why, but when I did this before, the WebM was it didn't have it had the the WebM was the one which had the black background, but the rest did have. Yeah, this one also doesn't have it. I don't know why. Huh, that's a shame. But yeah, so that's looks like okay. That looks like PNGs do work. So there you go. So you can use PNGs, and that's another way. This is transparent. Oh, let me try a different video editor. I know I played it before and it was working. Let's try it again. And we'll go to open with. Does videos work? No, videos does not work. See if I can play the WebM in videos. It might also be because I'm recording using OBS. Maybe OBS is interfering with it. Let's try videos. No, it doesn't play both. Oh, let me try FFmpeg. I'll go in the command line here, and I'll try FFmpeg and see if FFmpeg does. I think it's. Is it FF play? I think it's FF play. I haven't done this in a while. So 0001 0. Yeah, there we go. I'll try the MKV first. I can't see if that's a black background or not. Okay. Let's try the WebM. Sorry, I can't see. There's a glare. I think, yeah, that looks like it's a black. Okay, so that doesn't seem to work. Okay, so that is the end of the Blender part of the tutorial. So just a quick summary. Just make sure you have RGBA here if you're using a PNG file. So obviously here, the other ones that are transparent is you can also use WebP. WebP has better compression. Actually, there we go. So let's try WebP. So WebP, RGBA, and we go to render. Oh, we don't want the video here. Let's get rid of that. So go to render animation. Oh, that's actually faster than PNG. Okay, so maybe I should update I'll update the article to also have, and you see here the WebP, WebP, so you can use WebP files. So for example, the first one here, you see the file size is, let's see what the file size, it's 9.4 kilobytes. And if we go to the first PNG file, where are you, PNG? Oh, PNG, here we go. You see it's 20. So there's about a 50%, more than a 50% compression for WebM, and the quality is exactly the same. For example, you see here, that's nice. And there we go. Okay, so you can use the reason I use PNG is because obviously people know what PNG is, but you can use other other formats if you want if you want transparency, and then you can upload them. For example, if this was a little graphic to subscribe for more content, obviously you would have to upload all you have to grab all those images and put them there in order to maybe like your ending screen or beginning screen. That's one way to do it. The video is better because maybe it also has audio. So one of the problems with just image formats, they don't have audio. So that's why video formats are better. Okay, so that is that with the oh, wait a minute. No, that's fine. Okay, so that's the end of the Blender part. So I can actually get out of here. And as you saw, the WebM videos do work. Proof here. I guess it's just my video editor is acting up today, and the player. But as you can see here, it does work. We can play it one more time. So this is a WebM file. So we can. Oh, by the way, be sure to subscribe for more frequent content. And if you're on BitChute, I'm just about to finish up. You can ask me any questions. Let's go back to the article here. So this is basically what we did today. And these are the screenshots. And I said, see, this one is a transparent video. As you saw, I just changed the background of this. Let me change it back to the normal background. Go here and get rid of that. Okay, and you can see that's a transparent video. And then obviously this is the video watching right now, although it says Blender 4.2 long-term support release. The version I used is actually 4.3.2. We can prove it to you if we go to, is it help? Which one is it? It was in the beginning screen. Well, how do I get back the... Oh, yeah, it's here. About Blender. You see it says 4.3.2. So that's the version I'm using. Must have updated recently to give me headaches. Okay, so as you can see, Blender is free and open source. You can simply, it's licensed under the GNU General Public License version 2 or later. And as I said before, it's made in C++ and Python obviously makes it easier to contribute or to modify or create your own custom extensions or code snippets. So speaking of Python, I do have a learning Python course on our jumboshop.com. You can simply, it's available 24/7. You can learn at your own pace. There's no subscriptions, there's a one-time fee. The links are in the description. There's also the ebook version of this available on Amazon. Search for Edward Jumbo. Links are in the description. The difference between these two is that the ebook does not come with Python or an IDE, while this one on jumboshop.com comes with a Python IDE and a compiler built into your web browser. That's all you need. It works also for on mobile devices. All you need is a web browser. That's it. Okay, and the other thing is, if you do enjoy this tutorial, consider supporting me by multiple ways. For example, if you do use WordPress, I do have a WordPress plugin on ojumbo.com. You simply go to the shop page here in the header, and it'll take you there, or you can click the link directly, also available in the description. Getting one of my ojumboshop.com online courses. For example, in this tutorial, I'm promoting the Python one, but I also have PHP and JavaScript. Or you can get the publications on Amazon. You just search for Edward Jumbo. The links are in the description. Same thing is for JavaScript, Python, and PHP at the time of recording of this video. Or you can simply donate. Go to ojumbo.com/donate, and the donate is also up in the header just for your convenience. Just click here, it will go right to it. And here, for this article, you can see all the links. For example, the customer sets price plugin for WooCommerce, learning JavaScript course, learning Python course, learning PHP course, learning JavaScript paperback. That's a physical copy on Amazon. Learning JavaScript ebook on Amazon. Learning Python ebook on Amazon. Learning PHP ebook on Amazon. And if there's anything else, you can hire a programmer for mojumboservices.com for custom websites, applications, or tutorials. Maybe you want to learn how to program. no problem. Just go to jamboservices.com/contact and fill out the information. Someone will get back to you as soon as possible. Very good turnaround. Okay, just also a reminder that this Friday, you see, we'll discuss I'll show you how to install Drupal CMS. This particular live stream will be on YouTube, so just click the link, and or just if you don't want to do that, you can just simply watch it by clicking the play button here, or just going to the article and more information. The article will be better for you because that I have links, for example, where to get Drupal, and you know, the requirements. So for this one, obviously we'll be using MySQL, but if you want the other databases, I can show you how to do that as well. Okay, so that's it. I'm going to close off the live stream. Thank you, and see you in the next one.